We are back for another episode of Working on Ford and MILF. Have you got yourself a Nugget t-shirt yet? They're available in white and they're available in grey. You can get it right now. We ship them everywhere in the world. This episode is going to be big, Martin, isn't it?
It's going to be massive. We're going to be changing diffs. We're going to be putting the car back together. We're going to do the rear end of the car, drive shafts, all that cool stuff to make it work.
Bumper bars going on.
All of it.
We're going to get the door. Actually, this is the last episode that we're actually going to be working on the car mechanically. At the end of this episode,
it's going to run.
The engine conversion will be done. It's going to run. We'll turn the key.
Yep.
It will start. Fingers crossed.
Check out how confident he is about all this.
Always am. Always am. All right, let's run the graphics and then kick straight into it. We've now been working on Ford and MILF for almost as long as it took to build it, which was 2 weeks. And while the original plan was just to service it, clean it and drive it, it's clearly escalated since then. And now we're actually trying to do it right by upgrading some of the suspension components. But we do have a deadline of sorts because the original owner has reached out and he's asked if he can see the car again. So we're trying to get it finished before showing him his old ride. Our first job is to remove the drive shafts so that we can swap out the rear diff to match the gearbox. They have to have the same gear ratios, otherwise you'd be spinning the front and back wheels at different speeds, and that will melt the center diff in no time. Physically, they're the same size, so it's just a bolt in, and they do use the same drive shaft, so it's an easy swap. But we do have to swap the studs from the back of the old diff because they are different lengths. We did discuss very briefly the idea about installing a TV under the car to fully celebrate the spec history of Ford and MILF and its time amongst its auto salon friends, but we soon realised that it's just as much of a dumb idea today as it was 20 years ago. With the diff successfully installed, we've got a couple of tasty suspension bits going in, which is going to help our car handle through any drive-through that we choose. And these adjustable rear control arms mean that we do get some adjustment on our camber. Because Ford and MILF was a base model Impreza, it never actually came from the factory with a rear sway bar. So we are going to install one so we've got some extra grip in the KFC drive-through. Now you can get the sway bar, which we have here from Whiteline, but we can also get from Whiteline these rear sway bar mounts. Now if you've got a WRX, it does have a rear sway bar and these will upgrade your factory items. But in our case, this becomes a conversion mount because it never had them. Now up here on the chassis rail, just pop out these two little plugs and you can see there's two holes there ready to receive that. So we can install that, then rear sway bar can go on, and then maximum drive-through corner speed achieved. While the term spec is most famously attributed to Australia, with its specific subgenre known as the Sydney spec scene, other countries also of course got involved with this kind of ludicrous build that we've come to know. Japan had their VIP style where being stylish and luxurious took centre stage over any kind of track performance, with the roots of those kinds of builds traced back to the Yakuza. The USA had their Fast and Furious style, bringing fake NOS bottles, neon lights, and the kind of crazy installs that you'd see on Pimp My Ride that were never actually meant to be used, it was just meant to be a laugh for TV. And the UK had their Max Power scene, which was primarily hatchbacks with over-the-top stereo installs worth more than the car itself and wild body kits. But Australia seemed to take it all further, building the cars specifically around the auto salon judging criteria. So in many ways, we'd be better off installing a couple of PlayStations under the car instead of this new turbovac exhaust, except that I actually really want to drive this car rather than just trailer it around from show to show, being that those shows actually no longer exist.
I've gone a long time without ever having replaced an inner tie rod end, which looks like this. Can you guess which one the old one is? Real floppy, and that translates to a floppy, loose steering wheel. It feels a bit vague, feels like when you turn it kind of waits a second. I mean, so does worn out suspension, but this isn't, actually on a Rexy particularly, quite easy to change. So that just unscrews out of the end of the rack. A really good time as well to change your, watch the concrete, rack ends. And so that screws into there, like that. And then the boot goes over the top, and then we put the bands around to keep the water and all the rabbits out. And then we've got awesome new steering. We've also got some Whiteline tie rod ends on there, which will be like steer correction and get all the angles right, which is what it's all about.
Around the time that this car was built, there was a renaissance of acid music, often associated with this synthesizer sound that you can hear right now. I produced this piece of music in 2010 using a clone of a Roland TB303, a somewhat iconic synth from the early 1980s that at the time was meant to sound like a real bass guitar. It failed miserably at that task. But house producers decided to send it in a direction that it was never meant to go, and this monophonic arpeggiated saw wave with high resonance and distortion became iconic. And the reason I mention it now is because this instrument and spec do have something in common. It was often the affordable cars that were sent in a completely different direction, and from leaving the popular path, a new kind of art form was created. And your average person really didn't know how to take it. At the time, it was seen as extremely wild and unhinged. In music, it was acid. In car culture, it was for de MILF. Very exciting, people, because we are about to put some oil into this Rexy engine, and of course we are using Castrol Edge 5W40. It's what we put in all of our cars. They are a sponsor of the show, and I think an interesting thing is that cars and vehicles with Castrol have broken the land speed record 21 times. And I reckon one of those times may have been this car going down George Street to your mum's house. Martin, what's this thing you got going on here? What's that?
I know that EJ20s have also done some endurance records too. There was a Legacy back in the day with an early EJ20 that drove for the most distance or something,
Really?
a top speed record. They sat on averaged over 200 and something k's an hour for a certain amount of time, and that was that. Where's my funnel?
Here. This is your special Subaru adapting funnel thing, isn't it?
Yeah, hey, a lot of people are 3D printing these days.
Really?
Yep.
So the idea of that, is that actually just made from a Subaru thing?
I guess so. Looks like it is.
And then
Machined
what, you
out of
3D print that bit?
I didn't,
and
but
then
a
you
lot
oil
of the time these days, people are 3D printing this whole thing out of a particular kind of material that the oil doesn't seep through. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that is just kicking off. A hot tip with EJs is it says the capacity is 4.6 litres. Pretty much everyone I've spoken to says put 5 litres or near enough on 5 litres in it. It just gives you a little bit of insurance. I don't know if it's insurance against it leaking out or it's insurance against low oil situations in corners.
Or option 3, the people writing that stat know that the owners of these cars aren't going to change the oil anyway, so in advance put in a little bit extra. Just a whole lot goes in there.
So that's the hot tip.
There it is.
Yep.
Martin, what's still left to do up here? I've just done the oil in the diff.
Yep.
You did the gearbox oil yet?
No, that's next. And then got some hoses. These took a while to get actually because genuine parts. So there's 3 hoses the same. 2 of those are the ones I broke at the bottom.
Thank you.
And then one is that hose, I believe. There you go.
Yeah.
Got a heater hose that fits properly. And I can't hear oil leaking out of it, so we're looking good.
That's a good sign. So then we still need radiator,
Yep.
top mount. That's it down here.
Radiator and top mount. And then, aside from a boost controller, it's just a couple of wires that Dave is going to come and finish off.
Yep.
And the conversion is then essentially done.
And then a blow-off valve.
A blow-off valve.
Top
Have that
and
one
empty
there. Yep.
Yes, we are very close, and I'll admit now that while this car was bought as somewhat of a joke at the time, I've actually grown quite fond of it over the last couple of weeks and want to do whatever we can to make sure it has a long and healthy life ahead of it. And part of that is a brand new radiator so we don't cook our new Rexy engine, because I don't want to have to remove this one as well. The previous radiator looked like it was full of dam water, and it was hard to believe there'd ever been any coolant in it at all, so it went in the bin. And yes, it is true, I thought this was just going to be a summer romance, but it turns out I've got long-term feelings for de MILF. In the early 2000s, a huge defining characteristic of your car and its personality was the kind of sound that your blow-off valve made. Now, if you were rolling around at that time and your car was going psh, it was very likely that your blow-off valve was designed by my mate, mechanical engineer Brett from GFB. How are you, Brett?
Good, mate. How you going?
Good, thank you. So he has brought down a whole selection of historic blow-off valves so we can work out the best sound for our MILF. Show us what we got, Brett.
I was so excited when I got the call up for this era because we've been keeping this stuff in a little hideaway.
For this moment.
Just for this moment.
Yeah, because let's be honest, no one else wants it.
Probably. I would say that's true.
All right, what do we got?
90s, 2000s, JDM sort of stuff. We're talking Blitz, we're talking Apexi, we're talking HKS, gritty knockoff. But yeah, that was the kind of thing that was around when Go Fast Bits started.
Yeah.
None of it fits.
And then you guys made this, which we called a Stealth. It was called a Deceptor in the States, and this is the one, we did videos of this back in the day. There's a video of me showing how to install this on a Subaru in your mum's driveway.
There you go.
Probably 15 years ago. Today we're going to be working on my 2009 Forester. This is a very quick and easy mod, will take you around about 10 minutes, so let's get to it. And we would always get a shot, which we should get now, of this opening and closing. So this is the valve that really made it launch for Bug Eye, right?
Yeah, big time. So because of the mass airflow meter on the Subarus, if you put something like that on the car, it was just going to stall.
Yeah.
So it was a really common thing. And then, GFB was sort of the first to come out with the dual port.
Yep.
So you get some back to the intake and some for a bit of noise, and then...
And bolt-on.
And bolt-on. Well, that was the other thing. So, these valves, you would that's the valve you get, and then you have to figure out how to put it on the car. So it would be like an adapter or a hose or, something.
Could you kind of give an example of whether more people of a particular brand would like a certain sound? Like, did people from Nissans like one sound, people from Subarus like another sound? Like, did you see any patterns with that?
To a certain degree. I mean, the turbos, like the Garrett-based turbos on Nissans, were, quite often the flutter was the big noise. So you just block off the valve and they would flutter their heads off. And Subarus just don't make that noise. No. So it was a lot of the whoosh kind of noise. The HKS had that really high pitch kind of cheap sort of noise, and a lot of people wanted that. And that was that trumpet there that makes the whistling noise that we have.
The trumpet.
So you can have either the whoosh or the whistle noise. So
I was more into the whoosh at the time. So there's the trumpet. Now over here we've got the newest version of that.
This would probably be what you'd have at the time, right? Which is like a prototyping one.
That is ancient. That's from about 2001, 2002.
But you can still get today the same flange to fit the same intercooler in your modern design, right? Look at that. That will fit.
Yeah, the beautiful thing that Subaru did for us was keep that flange the same from 2001 right through to I think it was 07 on the WRX and 21 on the STIs.
Awesome.
So they made it quite easy.
You invented this.
Yes.
How does it feel to know a thing that you invented and is manufactured in Australia is now being used by literally hundreds of thousands of people around the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
It's pretty cool.
When we went to SEMA a while ago, there was a Subaru show that usually before the event. And, you see something like that from maybe 2005 under the bonnet of a car that's 20 years old and still on the car.
Yeah, wow.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And it just bolts on. See you later. It's got an O-ring too, so we don't need the gasket, correct?
I hate gaskets.
Oh, you don't like gaskets? Why? It's an engineering thing.
O-rings, so much easier.
So
The plastic
nice
flanges on those newer intercoolers like the 08s, they're just so hard to seal with a gasket.
Yeah, okay.
So if you put the return hose on that back to the intake, you can make it not make live valve noises, or you can turn it and then go out the trumpet, which we will use.
Yeah. Do you have a return hose or not?
I can do. I haven't put it back on.
Or you can just blank the other side.
Either way,
and you can,
there you go, look at that. That's so cool.
Do you know what I want to quickly say before Brett goes? He was the very first person to reach out to Mighty Car Mods. We just found the old email. It was June 2009. He sent us a message and said, hey, I really like your videos, and GFB came on board as a sponsor and have been supporting our show ever since. They jumped on board before anyone else did. We really appreciate it. So
what a ride it's
thank
been.
you. And proud to be supporting an Australian company.
Still using it.
Employing Australian people, creating things in Australia, and now part of Spec history on For the MILF.
Yep, that's what it's for. It's for this.
It is now time for this car to go back together. The newly sanded headlights can go back in after a little bit of wiring work because of melted and broken clips. And then we can work on getting the front bumper attached to the car. Most of the clips are missing, so we'll need to replace those, but luckily, Marty has got a big stash. Once the bumper's on, this will be the first time seeing the car as it looked back on the magazine cover almost 20 years ago, so it's a very special and exciting moment. This big brace thing can go back on underneath the car, then the bonnet can go on. I think it looks absolutely incredible. I'm throwing the factory wheels back on the car just so we can move it around off the hoist, and then what we really need to find out is if this engine and this conversion is actually going to work. We are turning the key today. A couple of things have happened since you saw the car last episode where I showed you the chrome wheels that we bought. I've since almost closed the deal on something else, so for now I've just put the factory wheels back on there so we can
bigger
get
and
off
better?
the hoist.
Are they bigger and better than what you had? Because you can never get big enough with chrome.
You'll see, Martin.
If you go on chrome, like you haven't gone to a 17, have you?
Just be patient and find out, Martin.
Have you gone bigger than an 18?
I do the opposite of what I would usually do.
Okay, good.
In other good news, what has arrived is
Looks good.
the door back from Bass at 2 Sus. So they don't make these stickers anymore, and so that there is basically doing what can be done to retain that sticker. Hopefully that'll polish up nicely as well. This here has now all been painted. That's been repaired. There were some dents here that were repaired as well. The mirror is painted. The colour of that looks very, very close to what we thought was a Volkswagen colour. This is a Ford colour. So the door's got to go back on. Dave's about to arrive soon. The top mount intercooler's not on there yet. You might have noticed, hey, why are you closing the bonnet, the hood, as you call it in America? We just wanted to make sure that all of that stuff was still good. Dave's got a couple of wires to do. And then this episode, we are turning the key.
That's it. It's all in there. So assuming the engine is okay and doesn't make bad noises, it's probably 23 and a half wires away from starting running driving.
Wow.
Needs a wheel armour pretty badly too.
Yeah.
So that'll probably happen at some stage to at least be able to drive it. But yeah, that's like, we're close, man.
Yeah, very close. So yeah, Davo's due down, do some wiring, turn the key. Very, very close. And then next episode, I think, will be probably the last episode that we're going to be like. We'll try and get everything finished in that.
Absolutely.
So
Finish it off.
Interior stuff, stereo stuff. Yeah, next episode will be the last episode of working on Ford de Milf, and then we'll obviously use it for what it was made for.
Which is hunting kebabs, which is what I'm going to go get right now. A kebab, right now.
Dude, where are you? Dave's due. Don't go
yeah,
anywhere.
but I'll get Dave a kebab. Don't worry about it.
But this is not the end of the
It
episode,
is for me. I'm getting a kebab. See you later. And then Dave
this is not the end of the episode.
munch
So
a
the
kebab.
next shot you're going to see
Munching kebab.
is Dave here. No, not munching
Hey,
kebab.
Dave,
He's doing
wanna
the
get a
wiring.
kebab? Yeah, man.
Dave
really
will
want
arrive
to
to
get a
do the
kebab.
wiring of the car.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll turn the key. And then once we know that it starts, then that will be the end of the episode.
Kebabs will have to wait because this door has to go on, and Dave is due here any second to hopefully make our car work. The door was painted in just a couple of days, so a big shout out to the crew at 2 Sus for getting this done so quickly. The car is really starting to come together with the forklift damage repaired and the mirror painted as well. We managed to get a new replacement trim for the B pillar, which just snaps straight on. Dave is back to help get things started. We've already got most of what's required done in the engine bay, so now we'll be turning our attention to the passenger side floor where the ECU for the naturally aspirated engine lives. That will be thrown in the bin and replaced with a Haltech Nexus S2, which is perfect for a 4-cylinder engine of this era. We'll wire in the cam and crank triggers for the position of the engine, injectors for the squirt, coils for the bang, a boost controller for the blow, and a few other less exciting things like temperature and idle control. It's about as simple as an ECU install gets, so shouldn't take too long.
I think it's wired. Benny and I came up with a bit of a strategy to try and use as much of the engine harness as we could, so we didn't have to run a lot of wires. Yeah, from the original car. So we grafted a little bit of the turbo harness into this harness. We changed the idle control into ignition coil outputs and the ignition coil outputs into idle control outputs. Use the factory map sensor, we use the air temp sensor. We only had to run wires for the boost control because this car obviously never had it. So in theory, it's wired.
It looks very, very neat.
Cool.
Thank you, David.
That's all right.
As always.
You're very welcome.
Should we
fun
press
to be
some
involved.
buttons and try and make some noise?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We
See
should
what
try and
happens?
start it.
In
Yeah.
theory, it should run.
It'll run, Dave. I believe in you. Let's go. Especially when you remember to plug the earths in.
Yeah,
That definitely helps.
I mean, that stumped me.
happen
That
now?
stumped me for a little while.
That wasn't late last night that
That's
we
fine.
worked that out.
That's fine.
I'll wear that. That was my fault.
Our fault. Hey.
Let's do it.
Come on, let's go.
All right. Try it.
Here you go.
All right.
You can do it?
Yep.
Dave's doing it.
Let me try it.
Neutral, ideally, because I need like my feet. Oh, it sounds like fuel.
It's
got
making
fuel
juicy noises.
Huh.
Made noise. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So good. I mean, it
Sounds so weird.
it's like 3 cylinders, but it's good otherwise. Yeah, mad. 3 cylinders.
You reckon?
Yeah. Hear it? That's fine. Turn off. We'll plug some stuff in. It'll be a coil.
Maybe one of those coil plugs.
Cool. Well, it works. Except one cylinder is not getting a spark by the sounds of it, which could be a coil wire. Although we did buzz them out, didn't we?
We buzzed them out.
We checked they all got power.
Check anything. It runs though.
It runs by Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Is
of those
it
coil
possible
plugs.
that the engine is
It's,
like falling off a table or something?
that's not. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
We did compression test this cold,
Yeah.
and it comped up, so it should have compression. So last night there was fuel pissing out of here because someone, not naming any names,
It might have been me.
it was definitely you.
Oh, it
But
was me?
don't get this right. But if you hadn't made a mistake, then I wouldn't have made a mistake that then fixed the car.
What?
Do you know what I mean? Like if you hadn't not put the O-ring in so it didn't piss fuel over the entire engine bay and the floor, then I wouldn't have unplugged the injector to fix it. But then I would never have plugged the injector back in, and then if I hadn't done that, we would always have run on 3 cylinders.
Martin,
Or it would have burnt to the ground, which arguably could have been better.
when this here was upside down, I was working on this side of the table and Benny was on that side of the table. So if I was on this side of the table, which side would I have been working on if that was upside down?
So I found the old injectors. There was 4 of them.
Yes.
3 of them didn't have O-rings and 1 did. So 1 O-ring didn't get transferred across from the old injectors to the new one.
But which side would... is that side?
No comment. It was definitely the Subaru mechanic. No, it's fine. It's a very tiny O-ring, easy to miss. And also, I didn't plug it back in after I fixed it. So we're both guilty. Dave, can you start it?
Is it going to work now then?
Start it. Go
I
see.
don't know. Let's try.
Come on, Boxer. Well, that's shit. Make it run, Davo. How does it sound worse?
It doesn't want to.
Cool. So... no,
It doesn't want to.
is the engine...
No.
Dude,
Nah, I know what it is.
Marty, the engine...
No, the engine's fine.
I know
it's
what
not.
it is.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Turn it off.
It's good. No problem with it at all. Perfection. That's Subaru for you. See you later. Yeah, cool.
Should we pull it out?
What do you mean? Why would we pull it out for?
I got an idea. And I know the audience would be happy with it anyway. Pull that out. Just buy a new intake manifold for the old one.
Buy a 2-litre one.
No, just put the old engine back
I already
in there
gave the
and
old
fix
engine away. It's gone.
it. Bullshit, where is it?
It's gone. I gave it to Kane because he was a mad dog and hooked us up on this broken engine, and so now he's got the good one that's broken that I broke. So now we have 2 broken engines.
Let's do a WRX to naturally aspirated conversion then on this.
Swap it back.
Yeah.
Dave, you up for swapping it back to N8?
We should put a Mitsubishi engine in it.
Put a Mitsubishi engine in it.
Mitsubishi's a shit.
Not necessarily. Do you want a kebab?
Nope.